It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on CCN Sunrise today on the Morning Buzz. We have the California passed so many propositions, and we'll be talking about those. And we will also be talking with actress, businesswoman, and Trump supporter Kimberlin Brown. We have Methodist Hospital. We have Michael Dreby from Methodist Hospital and the fabulous award that they won.
Yes.
And I also have, well, I'll let you talk about the next guest that's coming on, but I want to share a little bit about you too.
Okay. Also, the nursery at Cal Poly Pomona has poinsettias preparing for the holidays, and we'll show you some.
And I just want to thank you, Michael, for being on today. It's Veterans Day as we're shooting this, and I know that you are a veteran.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for your duty. You were all around the world, really supporting our country. And you're also known as Mr. Pasadena here in the San Gabriel Valley. So we'll learn more about that, and I'm just really delighted that you're on board with us.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to serve, and so happy to be here today.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, we also like to thank our sponsors for making the show possible.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.
We have really great sponsors like the East San Gabriel Valley ROPTC. You can visit them at the esgvrop.org. Sponsor us and we will promote you on the show too. Now for the Morning Buzz, as you all know, the election season has ended and a number of propositions passed. Some of them did not, but we are going to talk about those, a few of those today, like Proposition 64 and legalizing marijuana.
With us to talk about these is actress, businesswoman Kimberlin Brown. Were you surprised that Proposition 64 passed?
I was, quite honestly. I didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for it. I truly believe that it's a gateway drug, personally. I've seen it firsthand with kids in Fallbrook, where you start with marijuana and then you go to the next thing and the next thing. And for medicinal purposes, I think of things differently. Mm-hmm. But to legalize it as something like alcohol, you're 21, you can smoke pot wherever you want, whenever you want. They're still children. They're still children.
We can't smoke in public spaces, so obviously people aren't going to be able to smoke in restaurants. They have to smoke 100 feet away from a hospital and
the other thing
but
is,
it will be interesting to know if somebody's just going to be walking by.
It's legalized here in California and several other states. It's still a federal crime.
It is.
So how do you balance that kind of law?
Right.
You know, I'm really up in the air about the whole thing. I did not want to see it pass.
And interestingly, too, the popularity of it was growing, but it did not look like it was going to pass. So as far as the polling and some of the things that were taking place across the board, even with our presidency, it was just amazing to see how far off they were.
I think it's the state of California believing that they're going to be able to create another tax to help the situation.
It's an income revenue
exactly.
source, right?
And California, it needs a whole lot of help. I don't believe legalizing marijuana is going to do it.
Well, let me move on to another subject about Prop 63, about the ammo and how you now have to pass a background check.
Right.
Your thoughts about that?
I just think it's another attack on our Second Amendment rights. It's amazing that in the United States, you have to have a license to drive. Mm-hmm. You have to have a driver's license to get a fishing license anywhere, or a hunting license anywhere in the United States. Now you have to also pass a background check to buy ammunition, and yet you don't have to have a license to vote.
Now, I'm not sure about the details in that. Like, we going to be restricted on the amount of ammunition or the type of ammunition? That'll be very interesting too.
I think it's a way for them to follow where the ammunition is going. It's like a background check to buy a gun. They want it, which I agree with completely.
Right.
They want to make sure that people that are buying guns are good people.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
Safe.
exactly. But the people going in to buy that ammunition are the same people that went in to buy that gun in the first place.
Well, and I think in fairness, there are people who will go to the firing ranges, and so you may have somebody who will go through a huge series of ammunition based on either giving lessons or they're in the policing industry, but they practice using their weapons. And so it will be interesting to see what happens in regards to the amount of ammunition, or if there will be some kind of an alert.
It's another regulation, in my opinion, that's being imposed upon law-abiding citizens that could possibly make them break a law that otherwise they normally wouldn't. It's another foot on
Right.
our Second Amendment right. It truly is.
And moving on to a completely other subject, the death penalty. The death penalty was not repealed.
A lot of argument about that as far as the amount of expense that it takes. Do people ever really get through to go actually the death?
They're on
of the
death row for
penalty, but
yeah.
how many people actually expire on the death penalty versus sit and wait in our jails with the appeal system going through over and over and over and over again versus life in prison, no parole. So I think that was the case in, again, cost savings, why it was pushed, I believe. But obviously people feel strongly about keeping our most hardened criminals in jail and providing the death penalty for them.
Well, the one thing I can say is anybody on death row has never committed another heinous crime again. Mm-hmm. I believe the victims should have a louder voice than the perpetrator, quite honestly. If you are put on death row, you're not a good person. And unbelievable harm has been done to a family. And you know, one person being victimized is not about one person. It's about their entire network of friends and family on top of that. I believe they have rights as well. And all too often those rights are overlooked in once again, something that is done in what is hopefully the best interest. But there are some people that are simply not redeemable. And the cost, like you were saying, to keep someone in prison for the rest of their lives. The thing that really bothers me about the death penalty, and tell me your thoughts on this as well, please.
Okay.
How fair is it for someone who is on death row to sit there for 10 years, 20 years, what can that possibly be doing to help their psyche as well when they have already resigned themselves to the fact that this is my sentence, this is what I'm up against, this is what's been handed me. It can't be good for them on death row drawing things out the way that they do as well.
Yeah, I guess I really haven't thought about that, to be honest with you. I thought at that point the sentence had been passed and they were at this point moving forward with their death sentence. So I really hadn't thought about that particular
and honestly,
side.
I think it probably creates a dynamic within the jail system where they know they're not getting out. And I think it makes it more dangerous in the jail system.
But I also believe, though, that we have become a society where bad behavior is not addressed. If you have the death penalty and you actually enforce it, people might be afraid to do some of the things that they do.
Right.
And by not enforcing the death penalty and simply having people sit on death row, it's not fair for the victim, and it's also not fair for the perpetrator, in my opinion.
It's clear there's definitely some things that have to be worked out going forward for
Absolutely.
the death penalty to be enforced.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the America has spoken, or the California has spoken, and they really want to move forward with the death penalty.
I would hope it would be a deterrent to crime.
Yeah, one of
to,
the few
to heinous
things,
crime.
One of the few things that remained intact or was not changed within the
Was that?
propositions in our voting process. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'd like to
This is-
say
yes,
one more thing,
absolutely.
if you don't mind. You know, this month, Veterans Day, I know that your son-in-law is a Navy SEAL, and I'd like to just thank all of our veterans out there who have sacrificed for our country this month, and we wouldn't be here without that.
Absolutely.
so much.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And up next.
Coming up, the Methodist Hospital of Southern California has won a 5-star award.
Sounds like a great honor, and it truly is. So President Michael Drebe with the foundation will be with us next to discuss that.
Retirement's getting closer and closer, but admit it, you're still putting off the planning, right? Financial can help you plan ahead to sustain your golden years. Our wealth management and financial planning services are growing in the San Gabriel Valley. And because everyone's situation is different, we'll come up with an investment, estate, or tax plan that works for you. Stop procrastinating. Call us today or visit our website, ehfinancial.com. Don't worry, we'll be there for you every step of the way.
Today my bike got a flat tire. I should be sad, but I'm not, because 6 months ago, I went to Pasadena Federal Credit Union and emptied my piggy bank into their Coinstar machine. I put the money in my kids' club account, and they even gave me a Sammy Rabbit book to remind me to save my money. Dad says he and Mom can save money too in their new savings account. Now I have enough to pay for a new tire, and I still have money left over. It feels good to do things myself. Thank you, Pasadena Federal Credit Union.
It's open enrollment for Medicare, and your mom and dad are applying for the first time. Are you prepared?
Looks like the Methodist Hospital of Southern California may deserve applause. They have some big news to share.
Absolutely, and they've recently received a 5-star award from CMS, of all places, because they're tough. And they are here to announce and they're also the only one in Los Angeles who's won this 5-star recognition.
Absolutely.
So with us today, we have Michael Drebe from the Methodist Hospital Foundation to share exactly what that does mean, because this is huge.
It sure is, Mary. Thanks for having me here today to talk about it. CMS, otherwise known as the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and we know Medicaid in California as Medi-Cal, ranks hospitals across the country based on over 60 different objective criteria. These include things like how we treat diseases like heart attack, pneumonia, stroke. We're also rated based on efficiency, patient safety. 102 hospitals in the entire United States out of 4,600 that were rated got a 5-star rating.
Wow.
Only 9 hospitals in the state of California got 5 stars. And only 1 hospital in Los Angeles County got a 5-star rating, and that was Methodist Hospital of Southern California.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, you've always had some recognition with your heart protocol and stroke protocol as one of the top heart hospitals as
Absolutely.
well, correct?
Absolutely. And in Los Angeles County, we're recognized as a STEMI receiving center. And STEMI is a fancy way of saying a special type of heart attack where an artery is blocked. We're able to recognize out in the field the kind of heart attack someone is having, have the emergency EMTs bring that patient to the hospital, and then open that blocked artery within a certain amount of time. The fastest I think we've ever done it was in 14 minutes. And that sounds pretty incredible, and it is. It's a matter of recognizing what's going on, getting an image of which artery is blocked, going into the body with a catheter and opening that blocked artery up with a special balloon device, and then holding that open with something we call a stent. And that restores blood flow. And when I talk about this with people in the community, I always remind them that time is muscle. And it's really crucial that you...
And brain power, too.
And for stroke, time is brain. So when you're experiencing symptoms, don't decide to sleep it off. Don't think that, I'm going to be okay, I'll go check it out later. Call 911. And many people are very reluctant to do that, but it really saves brain and heart muscle.
And people are reluctant to not just call 911, but to be transported via ambulance versus getting in their car.
Right.
Or negating, going in the ambulance. Why is that important?
Because the EMT knows where to take you based on the kind of symptoms you're having. And if you're in our area, you may end up driving yourself to the wrong hospital and then having to be transported to us in order to get the proper care that you need. So if you're having signs of a heart attack, chest pressure, pain, nausea, for women it's very different oftentimes. It's lower back pain, pain in the arm, pain in the jaw, call 911. Don't be driven to the hospital, and don't let your loved one argue with you. Just take them. And for stroke, the other acronym to remember is FAST. Face, is it an even smile?
Sure.
Arms, can they raise their arms evenly, or is one kind of drooping? Speech, is the speech impaired? And then T stands for time. Again, back to this concept of time being brain. The longer you wait, the more difficult your recovery is going to be. And I want to put in a quick plug, if I can, for a new program that we have at the hospital that relates to stroke. We have a new physician and new capacity that our donors made possible to literally go into the brain with that same type of catheter technology we talked about and retrieve a clot and pull it out of the body.
Wow.
And this is new technology. This didn't exist 10 years ago. This is really making a significant difference for our stroke patients. And this means that a patient who's completely non-responsive is literally walking and talking the next day.
Wow.
And before, this meant a lifetime of disability. But now there's an alternative if you get to the hospital in time.
Michael, are there any plans for the hospital? Any new goals ahead?
Well, the hospital is always looking for new and different ways to improve its care in the community. We are in the middle of growing our 1206D clinics, and this is a very fancy way of saying that the hospital has the opportunity to create a clinic. The doctor comes in and only bills for his or her time. We provide the space, the technology, the staff. But this means that you as a patient don't have to go to the West Side, for example, to get care. So we have two very special clinics, a colorectal oncology clinic and a GYN oncology clinic. And this way, our community can get the kind of highly specialized care it needs right there in Arcadia.
Can we look up those clinics online?
Absolutely. You can go to www.methodisthospital.org and just Google GYN oncology or colorectal.
Great, great. Michael Drebe, Methodist Foundation, thank you very much for being on with us today. Really appreciate it, and congratulations on the outstanding work.
My pleasure. It's a great hospital. We couldn't do it without the community that supports us. So thank you for having me.
Thank
you so much. Coming up, the holidays are here. I think it's about time to start decorating.
Yeah, we should start transitioning from the pumpkins to the poinsettias, I think. So we have Monica Salambier from the Kellogg Ranch over at Cal Poly Pomona College will be on with us next.
As a pawn moves across the board, his chances of becoming more go up. Hi, I'm Derek Chevalier. Harrison Chevalier is a different kind of negotiating firm. We provide comprehensive negotiating strategies that help you do more than just win. We work to get you the highest and best outcome possible. Whether you're a salesperson, politician, engineer, or C-level executive, our education programs and consulting services hold the keys to more influence, more power, and more personal and professional success for you. Be more. Harrison Chevalier. Don't negotiate without us.
Your journey to a bright, healthy smile starts here at the Smile Agency. Dr. Karen Gwynn and her staff are experts in creating your dream smile. The Smile Agency offers braces, teeth whitening, and cutting-edge technology that straightens teeth faster than ever.
The Smile Agency helped me to have a brighter, wider smile, and they can help you too.
Visit thesmileagency.com and find out how we can help you get a beautiful, healthy smile for life.
Christmas is coming. Time to get in the holiday spirit.
It will come whether we want it to or not. And over at Cal Poly Pomona, we have a beautiful ranch at Kellogg's Ranch. We have poinsettias, And with us today, we have I don't think that you're necessarily a curator. What is the position that you
I'm
you
the
have?
greenhouse and nursery manager.
Wonderful. And Monica is with us today. You have a beautiful last name, Salambier.
Salambier.
Salambier. Tell us more about these plants, these beautiful plants. You haven't grown poinsettias for quite a while now, right?
13 years we haven't. So the students, as part of production experience for the students, we hired them to grow this crop. They were started in late June. This is a fundraiser for scholarships and to provide funding for the labs and the maintenance on the greenhouses. And we're going to be opening up our facility for the first time to the public, where they'll be able to come in and shop and actually go into the greenhouse.
Nice. So you have different styles. They're in baskets. Some have some green plants with them as well. Tell me a little bit about some of the pricing.
Well, an individual one like this that would come with in a durable pot cover that doesn't have holes on the bottom so it can't leak. This is $9.17 with tax. It's $10 even.
Perfect.
So it's just right out the door. It's very easy. 2 for $20.
Nice.
So
These are lovely.
then you can buy the containers individually. We have them available for sale, or you could have them made up. So one like this in lacquerware with a bow is $20.
Nice. Okay.
And then we have metalware
Nice variety here.
containers with foliage that we also grew. That's pothos and Sansevieria with that one, and that one I think is $45.
Really nice gift.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, wow.
nice
Very
gift.
nice.
With a
Something
nice
beautiful
bow.
to have on your table.
And then we have
And I love
some
the
wicker
basket.
and willow.
I'm going to grab this one and move it. It'll cover my face, which is good.
So this basket, actually the mother-in-law's tongue and the philodendron in this basket were grown by our plant propagation class, started last February. And the poinsettia, of course, the students grew this summer.
Gorgeous.
And that one is $45 with bow also.
Really? That is such a great deal.
Yeah, great for gift giving, perfect for Thanksgiving. We're open. As of this airing, we're open for sales before Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, so it's a perfect time. And also to dress up your house.
Oh, yeah. And then you can even pop these out and put another little something that you pick up at the Kellogg Ranch at another time.
Yes.
And just change with the season.
Exactly.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what happens even with the growing for the Rose Parade even. And
Well, any extras that we would have left over are donated to the Rose Float, and they can use those flowers on the Rose Float. But we haven't done that in quite a few years, but that's made available there. So there's no waste on these. And they're long lasting. These are native to northern Mexico, so you can put them out in your yard. But to get them to flower this early, we had to manipulate the light to trigger them this early. That's why you normally can't get them before Thanksgiving. And so we black cloth the greenhouse to initiate the flower sequence a little bit earlier.
now, will they all be red this year?
They're all red this year. It's our first year where it's a gamble for us, and so we're hoping to be successful and to sell them out to raise enough money to pay back what we've spent on the crop. So
And what is the goal? How many do you have to sell?
3,000.
Oh, you'll do
boy.
it. Now, tell me more about how we get to you, where this event happens, how often it happens, to be able to purchase.
Well, we have a facility at Poly Pomona that's really easy to get to. It's called Agriscapes, and that's where our farm store is. Most people will know our farm store. If you're unfamiliar, you can get off either off the 57 on Temple, and we're directly off of Temple. You'll see the signs at Temple and South Campus. And the greenhouses are located behind the farm store. So there's going to be arrows and poinsettia signs directing you once you get from Temple. If you're coming off the 10 freeway, you can just exit at Kellogg, take Kellogg to South Campus and make a right, and it takes you right to the greenhouses.
Now, you grow more than poinsettias and some of these plants. Tell us more about the items that you grow.
We grow foliage, meaning interior plants. We grow orchids. We have the Raymond Burr Orchid Collection, and we sell divisions out of that collection. And we also grow 2 greenhouses of hydroponic produce. So you can go to the farm store right now and all the way through June and buy hydroponic tomatoes, year-round. It's just a really nice source of beautiful fruit, and we grow Bibb lettuce and herbs hydroponically also.
Why hydroponically? Is it healthier? Is it better as far as the maintenance with the space, or?
Well, one of the reasons we do hydroponic production is because it's a huge career field for our students, and they get hands-on experience, and they're able to get jobs that normally they wouldn't be able to. They can go in as a junior grower. But the reason you can grow hydroponically is it saves a lot of resources in an urban situation. You can have very high density of land. Use 5% of the land compared to what it would take if you were growing out in the field. Also, you can produce year-round. And our greenhouses are all insect protected. We have insect screening on all intakes and vents, so the bugs aren't being drawn in to the greenhouse, and that prevents the pest pressure from building up in the greenhouse because you're not introducing the pests. And so it's a way to reduce any pesticide use on the produce also.
Really nice.
So you're conserving your nutrients because you're recycling those nutrients constantly. You're avoiding diseases because you don't have soil-borne diseases. There's no soil in the hydroponics.
Exactly.
And
Monica, how is there a website or something that way we can look at what you're growing a little more closely and the events to be able to take
well, you
place?
can find us on Facebook. It's the Cal Poly Nursery, and then look at the nursery at Kellogg Ranch. And under there, you can look at an album called take Poinsettia. And if you look at poinsettia, you can see it from the day it was propagated from little cuttings. And you can follow it almost weekly, pictures we have it with the students involved until today. And you can do the same thing with our Bibb lettuce, you can do the same thing with our tomatoes, or we have a lot of lab activities going on where they're growing vegetables under lights. Our vegetable cropping systems are growing zucchini and jalapenos going into winter under lights in the greenhouse, or they're growing herbs and in static boxes. And,
wonderful.
So you can see everything that's going on in the greenhouse just by checking out the individual albums.
Great. Thank you so much for being with us
You're
today.
welcome. Thanks
That
for having us.
It for our show today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Michael, for joining me today.
Wonderful,
Mr. Pastina.
wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We want to thank our other guests that were on with us today. We want to thank Kimberlin Brown. We also want to thank Monica Salambier from Kellogg Ranch at Cal Poly Pomona. And we also want to thank Michael Dreby from the Methodist Hospital Foundation. Thank you all for being on with us today.
Thanks also to our amazing Crown City News team and the entire CCN Sunrise crew. We also want to thank our sponsors, including Foothill Transit, EH Financial, East San Gabriel Valley ROP, Color Dots, and the Smile Agency that's making the show possible, and GKO Global Consultants, and our accountants, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership.
That's right. And don't forget to visit us on crowncitynews.com, the Crown City News YouTube page, our CCN Sunrise Twitter and Facebook, and KVMD on Saturdays at 6 and Sunday at 5. See you next time. Thanks. Yeah, I love these plants. Did you see this one? This is really beautiful.